What's up? Thursday, February 1st. Pick Central, joined by Smitty, Ev, myself, Clemmer. Couple different things to get to in terms of last night. I just saw Mancini walk by, Alabama alum. Ev, condolences. I wrote it. It's a brutal beat. Brutal beat. Are you familiar with the situation?
Oh, I'm familiar. And I tried to comfort him. Because Alabama last week kind of gave him a good one. Gave him a good beat.
Smitty got an earful of it the first time I sat down.
Unbelievable.
Smitty was my therapist when I sat down today walking in.
Yeah. Down 14 at the half. Opened the game 17-2. Bama has a 58-point second half and covers late.
Oh, no.
Georgia down 1, hits a free throw with 2 minutes left, down 1, scores 3 points the rest of the way. Bama doesn't miss, hits timely threes. Holding the 7, and winning by 9. They were covering.
Georgia was covering for 39 minutes and 30 seconds of a 40-minute game.
and Ev, what did you say was the worst part about all?
And then it was Virginia after that, but then after that was then going on Twitter. And then I see Bosco's face, good teams win, great teams cover. I met Nate Oates once.
Nah, that's not true.
He's my best friend. I was
There might be trouble in paradise. No,
really
reply to the text last night.
And really, it was that.
It's a big win.
I know.
It was that, then followed by Virginia laying 13, up 15, and fouling a 3-point shooter on the final possession, where it's one of those where when you need a guy to make a free throw, he's guaranteed to clank it.
No chance.
And when you need him to miss one, I don't think one touched the net. They all just poop, and then just dribble out the clock. Game over.
You know what was crazy with that game?
12.
I didn't watch much of it. It was in realm or something like that. It was like 10-4, like 8 minutes in or something like that, and then they went berserk in the end of the first half.
Virginia did. They kind of both
like
did. But
38. Yeah, I was looking. I was like, oh, because I remember Smitty saying how horrific that total was.
Yeah, it was
Wasn't
really
like
low.
115. I mean, that's Virginia. Yeah, and Notre Dame's not great. I like Shrewsbury, but
They covered.
yeah. So that was a wild one. I'm trying to think of anything else like late.
Just real quick, service.
Kentucky with a meltdown too.
No, that was, and I had Kentucky. Or Florida +6, and they hit a 3 at the buzzer to go to overtime.
Which you don't want.
Yeah, I was gonna do some shit.
Yeah.
I was about to lose my. I literally threw my remote at the wall. I was like, this can't happen. And then
Because that's deadly. Overtime.
They won in
deadly,
overtime, but if he just literally misses that shot, they lose by 3, and I cover. Like I had to
Did the
sweat
remote-
out another 5 minutes.
Remote break?
I had to put it back together. It was when those didn't break. The batteries went.
Yeah, the batteries-
Well, that's a
I'm
rookie.
an asshole. I'm like laying on the ground.
You
Like,
got cable?
under my bed for the batteries.
You got cable?
Nah, YouTube TV.
Oh, God, that'd be a disaster for you. You and your 12 remotes trying to
I
figure out
know.
which battery.
I have one remote.
Well, that's
I have one
my.
remote.
Every time I pass, like every 3 months, I pass by the actual cable. Such an old man move. Clemmer will appreciate it. Past the cable store. Like there's a Target in the cable store. So my wife's like, we're going here. I'm like, all right, we're also stopping here. I stop here. I'm like, yeah, I need more remotes. I got like 8 just backed up. Now they're not. The problem with me is I don't know how to set it where I can have. So my backups only do like power and channel. I can't get the volume, but I have the Roku. Whatever. But I just stack remotes every time. Like,
Why don't you get? I mean, I have no idea how much it'll cost. Get like a service technician in there and just like bang everything to one.
Yeah,
I would love to.
Super
I would
remote,
love to have it on a super remote. I don't know how much that would be, but we'll see.
Real quick service announcement for people who are listening to the show live. I said yesterday to take the Utah Jazz against
You
the
did.
Sixers. I think it started -4. It opened -4.5 today.
I'm seeing 5.
The Jazz is 5 now. It would not surprise me if it goes up within the hour. Because Embiid's already out. Maxey is a game-time decision. I'm going to say he's most likely going to be out. That line's going to jump to at least 6, 7. It might happen within the hour. So if you want to get on that now.
So we should ride this, you think?
I said yesterday, take it. Like the Sixers are the last game of a road West Coast trip.
All right.
They just need to get home. It wouldn't surprise me if they just like rest everybody again, just try to get everything set.
I'm going to ride with Smitty.
There you go.
How about that?
Betting against my team. Thanks, Clemmer.
Yeah.
Fuck
all right. Yeah. Let's go Jazz.
Hey, it's a pick show. I'm just trying to get it out there before the line moves.
That
There you
makes
go.
sense.
What a gentleman.
Dukes, you working the board or is Phil working the board?
I work the board every day.
The other one, so maybe it's just me and like my sense of humor, but Did anybody? Did you see Chris Collins' ejection last night?
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great.
Have you seen this?
I have not.
I did not see that.
It's great. I was on Purdue.
It's
That was
fucking all time. It's fucking all time swing of emotions. So,
and I will say, I think rightfully so.
Well, yeah, there's no foul on that play. The possession
I was thinking
before
more
was
the game.
There was
in his
possession before was
throws of 46-8.
Okay.
46
throws.
Okay. Now, Edey is
insane.
Edey is an enigma, and I like Edey. I've talked to him. He's an interesting guy. They're never going to figure out how to properly officiate him because there's no way he should get every call, but there's no way he should get beaten up sometime. Like, there's no real – I don't think they ever walk out of a game and go, okay, they got it right. Like, it's down the middle. It's very much – it's either skewed to him or he's just getting beaten up and bruised and they don't call anything. So it's frustrating with that. Tonight was one of those – or last night was one of those nights he got everything. Collins is like, you know what? We fucking lost anyway. I'm going to get my money's worth, and goes apeshit on Courtney Green, who, having learned, like, the names of the refs now, pisses off people more than anybody. Courtney Green has done high-level game. It's usually the guys who get like, you don't know a guy in the fucking SWAC. But Courtney Green gets high, and people are pissed off at him. He goes out. He's got the full point. He gets teched immediately. He does, like, the hard guy's shoulder lean. But then the kicker to me was his way out. His antics on the way out.
He gets thrown out.
Very, very funny. So, Dukes, do you have that?
No, because we can't show it.
Oh. Do you want to reenact it?
And tomorrow we'll do colors?
Yeah, tomorrow
this is
we'll do
basic.
What about Rumble?
It was
Can't show it on Rumble?
It was a great lead in by Rico.
Can't show it on Rumble? We're Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble. Read the Rumble comments.
You want to reenact it?
Yeah.
Sure,
You want to go high cam?
What do you want me to just be?
I kind of want to see a reenactment.
So
you'd have to be. You'd have to
on
be
the blog.
coach.
Everybody has seen it. Yeah. He stops. His guys are like walking him out. And, like, he's like, hold on, and stops and very calmly shakes Painter's hand, the head coach of Purdue, like, very civil. And then hits a couple of guys like, hey, good job.
Shaking like the player.
Goes down, and then
Edey,
who's the player of the year, is at the end and kind of looking at him like, and he daps up Edey like, yeah, you beat us. I had nothing against you. Like, good job. And then walks into the tunnel, and they're still chanting like, fuck you, this. And he's going like this to the crowd. So the swing of emotions of, like, completely insane back to normal to fucking insane again was all time.
Kind of like working with you.
Agreed. Totally agreed.
And I would say,
Totally
keep in mind that it was 46-8. The game was in overtime.
So they did every
where they're on the road
yeah.
as like 13-point dogs.
That's a good point.
And they probably should have won the game in regulation.
Right.
And then and then this happens in OT. They're losing. And then loses his mind, gets thrown out, and just shakes everyone's hands on the way out. The other team on the way out the door.
So, and just like taps
so
up. So
funny.
But then goes right back to it. Like, go ahead, give me what you got. As he's going through the tunnel.
It
was just like
he got his money's worth.
Yeah. Like.
Oh yeah.
And
it was the ultimate. Like Lou Piniella already thrown out. Like grabbing the base and throwing it. Like
right.
It was like fucking. Like, you already threw me out. Like I'm putting on a show.
Exactly. So it's the closest thing to a baseball match.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
I have a question about Zack Edey.
He's tall.
Really tall.
This is what, his 12th year?
No, it feels like that, but yeah.
Third or fourth.
Basically.
Is he the most perfect college basketball player ever? Because when he gets to the pros, he's gonna be in the NBA, but he's not gonna be like.
But
Disagree with that.
He's so slow.
He played his way into the lottery.
You think that high?
No,
in the lottery?
This is not my opinion. I want to take him in the lottery, but I saw like a recent mock draft like a month ago. I saw a lottery.
Good for him.
14th, 15th pick.
I still
not a lock.
I still think they will drop him.
He's just so slow. He's huge. He's legit like 7'5".
He's a great passer.
Slow.
He can definitely contribute. Yeah, he definitely can contribute.
You look at someone like Walker Kessler, like and what he's been able to do, like.
But Kessler, I even think that's but I think that Kessler is a little more pep in his step than Edey does. He's a little more like limber, he moves better.
Dude, Edey's Taco Fall to an extent, but just way better.
Agreed.
Correct.
I feel like
he's also better.
Is Taco still on a roster?
No, he's a lot better than Taco is,
but he's also better than
he's
better than like a Luka Garza. He's better than like an Oscar Shibwe.
Right.
So I get what
better
you're saying.
Manute Bol.
Yeah, like you're comparing him to people, which I get what you're doing, but he's
good boxing shot.
You ever see Manute Bol on ice skates?
Yeah, crazy.
I was saying, like I don't know if he's better than me.
Did a celebrity
boxing.
boxing?
Had like a good.
Give Garza credit. Garza did a lot to slim himself down and get himself in the league.
He's amazing. He's the best G League player of all time.
He just they for whatever reason they don't want to keep him on the main roster.
I think it's just him getting back on defense.
Slow.
Yeah, put him on half.
Well, I thought Iowa was better last year, just in the flow. Obviously, they had more talent with Garza, but the pace of play of what they want to do, they're not waiting for their best player to come down the court.
It's just the problem with
they had the Murray, and he could just go.
It's the problem with the NBA with these big men. Like
last year, they had Chris. I'm saying too. Chris was still really good.
They just dominate, but then they go to the NBA and they have to guard fucking.
Agreed. Yeah, guy who could step out. Yeah.
Oh God, Edey against a healthy Embiid has no shot.
Yeah.
But on the other side,
he doesn't have a shot against like DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
Who is like good. I'm not trying to like shit on him, but I'm saying even like a little bit lower down, he still would get like murdered by guys like that.
A lot of these tall guys though do sneak up the draft. Like those, we've seen that a million times where guys that are super tall go way higher than they should because all it takes is one GM.
Yeah, and once that GM selects Sean Bradley, that's it.
That's what I was thinking. Him,
GM don't have a job no more.
Think Kadare. Like I think about some of these guys, and it's like they go higher than you might think, just because GM just sees the size and gets a hard on.
Sean Bradley, one of the most underrated nicknames in sports history.
What was his nickname?
Mormon at a BYU.
Yeah.
Missionary Impossible.
Yankees Stinkadare, I remember that.
Oh, that was rough. Might be one of the worst NBA players ever.
But that's a good point Smitty actually said with like who's an all-time college. Do we agree that the best kind of college basketball players are like the gimmick? Well, I don't want to say gimmick, but like there's something there. Either it's
like there's something to a guy that's really good in college that you like almost can see him in real time and know he's not going to be a good pro.
Exactly. Either he's really little,
like NBA pro,
like he's either really little, he's really tall, or he's memorable. Like
I feel like to me, I feel like almost the little guys that you doubt work out more than the big guys.
100%.
Like a Jalen Brunson, for example, which he's a dime a dozen. Like you don't see guys like small guards that he goes on to be obviously an NBA All-Star now, about to get announced today. But I feel like you see more of those small guys rise up.
Who was the kid from the Duke Butler?
Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward?
No, not Gordon
Howard.
Oh, Shelvin Mack?
No, for Duke.
That was
Zack.
Zubek.
Yeah.
Zubek was good defensively for them, but yeah, I mean,
or even like at Haynesboro.
Yeah,
he was in the league.
Serviceable in the league.
He was in the league for like 10 years.
But he obviously wasn't as dominant as he was.
No, not even close.
That's what I'm saying.
He was like a good guy off the bench, like a solid rope bench player.
Smitty,
Yes.
Oscar Tshiebwe, Kentucky, National Player of the Year, went undrafted. That was the first time ever, I believe, and a National Player of the Year in college basketball went undrafted.
What year was that?
Last year, but he was the 2022.
Gotcha.
People knew Hansborough wasn't going to be good in the pros, or not very good.
But that's why I'm comparing him to Edey a little bit.
Right.
But even Hansborough, I think, still went in the first round.
Hansborough had a good career.
He was fine.
Was he even in the lottery?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't.
flirtable.
Either back in the lottery or maybe like in the late teens.
He was drafted by the Pacers, right?
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
they weren't like terrible.
No.
Raptors, maybe?
No, Bobcats, if I had to guess.
He was in the Raptors.
No, you're thinking Adam Morrison.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I thought Hansborough.
Adam Morrison was horrible in the NBA. Hansborough's okay.
What?
Breaking news, by the way.
Yeah.
You guys want to switch topics? Dan Quinn, Commanders coach.
Oh yeah, that seemed like the most likely after all the fallout yesterday.
He was drafted by the Pacers.
Yeah, I remember watching.
Then he was on they played in the NBA from 2009 to 2016.
Yeah, he had a nice little career.
7 years.
He did everything right. Like he
didn't play for the Raptors, right? Yeah, we were all right. He went Pacers, Raptors, Hornets. Clemmer's right there. That's where.
So Bobcats never.
Pacers, Raptors, technically the Hornets, only for like a year.
All right.
His last year in the NBA, and then he played overseas for a little bit.
All right.
So back to the Commanders. Quinn makes the most sense, right? I mean, unless you're like some Belichick stan.
I think he's going into a no-win situation, but I like Dan Quinn as a coach. I mean, obviously with Seattle, I think he made a Super Bowl with Atlanta. I think he got a little bit of a raw deal. I don't think it was 100% his fault, like that Super Bowl. And it was his fault, but he still got there. Matt Ryan was MVP that year.
You're absolutely right.
I think he can coach, and he's defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, which fucking sucks. But I think he's just in a Commander's job's a bad situation.
Is it new ownership?
It's new ownership, but what do you got there?
Nothing.
What do you got? You have to do it all yourself.
You have the number 2 pick.
Yes.
Or would I have number 3, 2, 3? 3?
3, right?
2. I think 2.
I think you're right, actually.
They're the number 2 pick. I mean, they have some talent. I mean, they obviously traded away a lot of it this year with Sweat and Chase Young, but they still have some like pieces on offense, like some decent backs. They have like Scary Terry. They got a couple guys to work with. Obviously, defensive guy. But, I mean, the new ownership is, I think, the biggest selling point. That it's no longer this Snyder shit show. It's where a guy who's had success owning teams.
When was the last time the Washington football franchise won 11 games or more?
Yeah, I heard this on the rundown. So
yeah,
it's cheating. But
it's the Super Bowl year, right?
82 or something like that.
92.
Wow.
When they won the Super Bowl.
That's absurd.
They won the Super Bowl.
They win
It's the
10,
Bills.
they win 10 games at RG3 or 9?
Bills' second time.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Heineke when they won the division.
Is that a
it was
close
they
one
were
for the
8 and 8.
Bills?
No, it wasn't. And Mark Rippon was the Bills should have probably won that game by talent because that Redskins team was not very good, and Mark Rippon was the quarterback.
Jeez.
I mean,
They ran all over him.
Joe
by the way,
Gibbs, baby. 3 Super Bowls.
with 3 different quarterbacks.
Yeah, people forget.
Doug Williams, Joe Theismann, and
Joe Gibbs.
yeah.
Just how, like, dominant he was.
That's what I mean. It's so funny. Like back to Belichick, Gibbs did with 3 different quarterbacks.
Right.
Washington, by the way, Ev, you're absolutely right. The number 2 pick. So I imagine they're going to draft a quarterback.
Well, I got a big topic on that, but I wanted to touch on this one. You know what? Let's go that one big. All right. So I think Bill Barnwell wrote a story, like, what do the Bears do? There's 2 different options. I'm going to give you the one that's kind of, I guess, less sexy. And you can say, I guess, if you think that this is accurate value or would you expect this is what you would get in return. It's keep Fields. The 5 teams, that they think would be in the mix to keep Fields and wait, hold on a second. I'm sorry.
To trade the pick.
Trade Fields. I'm sorry.
All right,
Keep
trade
the
Fields.
pick. Keep
All
the
right.
pick. Trade Fields. Sorry.
Okay.
Trade Fields. This is what you would be getting back. Okay. Atlanta is giving their 2nd and 3rd.
That probably makes sense.
Denver, because they got fucked in the Sean Payton deal, would only give a 2025 second rounder. Las Vegas, he could see giving the 44. Pittsburgh would give 51st this year and the fourth rounder, an additional 4th rounder. And the Pats could give a 2nd round conditional in 2025 or something like that and 68. Is that like what you would expect?
No one's giving a first.
Nobody's giving a first on this reported deal.
The first one
or reported deal.
I think that's
the Falcons one to me made the most sense of like a 2nd and 3rd this year. Like both, because I don't think.
But I was kind of
like the Denver one, like your 2nd next year is not. That's not enough.
Agreed, but
that's not enough.
I was kind of surprised that it, like, the Clemmers. Yeah, like,
what if they ship back Russ though?
If they ask for a 1st rounder, are they going to get laughed out of the room?
I think their problem is, I think he could potentially get like a late 1st rounder, but I think there's no suitors in the late 1st round.
I'm looking right now. There's really not.
The Falcons. I think if the Falcons were in a spot where they had like the 20th pick, they might do it. But them having the
Steelers have the 20th pick.
I think the Steelers are gonna give Pickett another year.
I think you're right. I'm just saying.
I just don't. I just think all the teams in like the back half, they're like not really in a position where it makes sense to do that.
I don't think this would happen, but the Arizona Cardinals have the 27th pick because of a trade with Houston. But they think they're pretty happy with Kyler, right?
And they paid him so much already.
But also, draft day can do a lot. You can be a team looking for a quarter. You can be the Commanders. You can trade down from the 2nd or 3rd pick, get another late 1st round pick, and
that's true. That's true.
Work with something there.
Isn't it also like they come across as desperate to an extent? If they want to trade away Fields, like your value goes down for Fields. Like if people are like,
Could make a case.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
make that case.
I think it just.
If they want to trade him, it's the other team's gonna be like, all right, well, we're not gonna trade you for.
Yeah, but you're competing against other teams though.
That's what I was gonna say.
In theory, of 5 teams, they're all now you got a bidding war.
I think there's at least a few that would be like serious suiters for him.
And you have to do it before the draft.
I guess if they really like, I would rather, and this is just from you brought up, like I think the Broncos would rather trade for the 1st pick. Like I think that I saw that Sean Payton really wants.
I got a lot of those deals.
But like,
too.
I don't. Yeah.
Are there teams?
What a disaster.
Is there anybody with multiple, other than the Cardinals, multiple 1st rounders that you can almost talk yourself into creating a job?
The Cardinals have multiple.
Like I'm thinking, or like if let's say if the Jets, what do the Jets have?
Jets have 10.
Okay, the Jets have 10. Let's say the Jets had 29 also somehow, right? Mm-hmm. You got Rodgers for what? Committed for what? A year?
Only a year under.
Okay. Could you justify, if you're as a Jet fan, trading a 1st rounder for Fields?
No,
because you have to.
You need offensive line. That offensive line is so bad.
I think with Rodgers, you go. No, I think
we're a team like Tennessee. Who's going to be the guy in Tennessee? Now Tennessee's different because they have the 7, so they're in a position to take a quarterback.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at
also, I don't think they hate Levis. I'm not like the craziest Levis guy, but listen, they might draft a quarterback, but I also wouldn't be shocked if they said, like, let's see, like, give Levis, like, one more.
They draft.
I think they should go after another quarterback because I don't think he's the long-term.
They need offensive line help,
I'm thinking of more of, like,
For sure. They
okay,
need a tackle
yeah, like,
bad.
okay quarterbacks. Like, let's say like, who's going to be the guy for the Browns?
Sean Watson.
Watson, and they
Dak, though? Like,
This guy,
he doesn't want to play.
What do you mean he doesn't want to play? When do you see he got hurt?
don't have a.
He was also bailing out as well.
he got hurt.
He had a shoulder injury that.
But he was a healthy scratch.
He was
at times.
no. He was
a healthy scratch.
I'm not trying to defend Deshaun Watson as a person, but he was medically cleared, but he was still hurt.
All right.
And then the next week they shut him down.
Not only that, Rico.
I thought it was. Okay.
The Browns.
wasn't
The
healthy.
Browns don't have a first-round pick because of that trade.
Yeah, I got that. All right.
They're so invested in him, they have to.
They're fucked.
Yeah. Okay.
They give it's 100% guaranteed.
Real quick, like what
It's a long season. I remember it being like he don't want to play.
I mean,
He got hurt, but I'm like, it didn't look like he wanted to play.
Obviously, they bench Russ, but
Right.
what are they doing with that? The Broncos.
Oh, they're going new.
They're gonna cut him.
They're going to cut him.
Yeah, new quarterback. I think they're all.
They have the 12th pick.
They're gonna cut him.
They can
And where does he go? Because he's still serviceable.
New England.
Raiders, Patriots, a potential option. I think.
Raiders are tough though because they have Greg Garoppolo.
Even the
Well, I'm
Falcons.
sure they'll cut him, but-
I think could be an option for him.
Yes.
If he's not a lot of money, I don't know how these teams couldn't justify putting him on a roster as, like I said, either create a battle or a backup. Like the guy you have might, if you don't for sure know that the guy you have is the guy, put him on a fucking roster.
That's a disaster, though. Yeah, that's a disaster waiting to happen with some teams. I could definitely see the Eagles picking him up as a backup.
No, the Eagles shouldn't pick him up.
one-
No.
one
Because
Jalen Hurts interception.
You just negated what I said. They know without a shadow of a doubt that Hurts is the guy. That you can't do that. I'm talking about
But having Russell Wilson as a backup's pretty nice.
No,
But he's going to go.
You just answered it.
somewhere.
Russell Wilson, the Falcons. Dan Quinn.
He's going to start.
Dan Quinn
gonna
was in Seattle with Wilson. I bet that's
bad.
where he goes.
Not bad, Clemmer.
He's played good enough the last couple of years. He's going to start. Like he's not going to go be a.
Oh, if he didn't have the salary cap number that he had last year and the money coming,
Yes.
he would have finished the season.
Correct.
Because he turned it around. He had a pretty good year last year.
He really did.
No, he wasn't that bad.
yeah.
He was just starting 5 out of the gate.
Somebody will start him.
Russell Wilson's numbers last year looked good, but the way Sean Payton used him, you could tell he just did not trust him whatsoever.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Because I'm always like numbers don't tell everything. But even watch, he's not bad enough to just be like a backup or like out of the league. He's
No, I
definitely-
agree.
He's starter caliber.
He's starter caliber, but like we can't just look at the stats and be like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy was.
And a new
Oh no, he
last
wasn't
year.
great.
A new situation might rejuvenate him. I mean, you saw it a little bit with Rivers, Ryan, like Goff, obviously, like Stafford, like just put a guy in a new situation, and sometimes that can work.
I get it, but like he just couldn't do it with Sean Payton. So who can he do it with?
What if the Saints traded for Fields? They have the 14th pick, and maybe the Bears give back a second as well.
They're still invested in Carr for another like 2 years, pretty heavily. I'm pretty sure.
This is a bad situation.
I'm done with the Saints.
I don't think he goes to the Patriots. I'm not like opposed to him coming to the Patriots. I don't think he comes to the Patriots.
All right, well, that's a good question. What would you be willing to give up if you oh no, never mind. That's if you traded for Patriots. I'm saying I got all the number one picks, and it's surprising to me what it costs.
Patriots either want Jaden Daniels, or if they go like the wide receiver route, I don't really mind getting I don't mind getting Marvin Harrison Jr. and then
Who's gonna
getting
throw
getting
him,
but I'm saying like get like a Jacoby Brissett, a Gardner Minshew, and then have like a JJ McCarthy or a Spencer Rattler, for example, like sit behind for a couple of years.
Minshew's an interesting one too.
Yeah, like those are like starters.
'Cause he's
that,
a
like,
free
sit
agent.
behind. What?
I think Minshew.
And he was pretty good this
He
year.
should be on a roster.
You know who else?
No, he's definitely, but I'm saying, do you think somebody will actually take that leap of faith to like give him a starting job that's not on the?
I don't. I think he is what he
Where would he
is
go?
at this point.
That's why I was posing the question. I was like maybe like it would take one of those kind of teams to believe in him, like a Falcon, kind of the same teams.
Raiders,
like Falcons, Raiders, Patriots, maybe. Like I don't know. Like I'm just.
What if a
Teams
team
that just need a
what if
quarterback.
But again, I'll go back to it. Why wouldn't the Jets take a shot on a guy like that?
Gardner Minshew?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
No,
That would make sense. I think that would make sense to be the backup.
Minshew, I like him, but his ceiling is not like Pro Bowl starter. He's a
You don't need that, but
serviceable.
It's another.
backup.
It's a backup option if something goes wrong with Rodgers.
It's a
again.
really like a
he gets hurt,
very good backup
quits.
option.
He goes into the woods and does drugs. Like Rodgers is old. You have Minshew as a stopgap, and
That
then
makes
you
all
can
the
look
sense
and
in the
go,
world.
all right, you know what? And let's say they do well last year or next year, and it's like well enough with Rodgers. And it's like, all right, well, we don't have a great pick, so now we're not going to take a quarterback high, or it's not a good quarterback draft. Okay, guess what? Minshew, you're starting for this year. We still have a really good defense. We have some weapons. Like, you have enough of a stopgap to be a game manager.
This was Jets should have done last year, Rico.
I feel like I've said this about like 9 quarterbacks, but I think if the Jets had Gardner Minshew was the quarterback last year, they probably would have made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yes, they
At least would have been like really close.
Yes,
without a doubt.
this is what I've been saying.
He was this close thinking because let's even think about the Colts for a second. I think Steichen did a fucking great job as the first year. I think he should even be. I think he's going to win it, but it should be like even in consideration for Coach of the Year. Oh yeah, awesome job. It's like I think Pittman's like really good, and he's a free agent too. I think he's going to be a steal for somebody if he ends up leaving Indianapolis. But it's not like he was out there winning games, and not exactly like the greatest receiving core ever.
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers goes on a legal spiritual trip to take ayahuasca. Rico makes it sound like he goes into the woods and shoots up heroin.
Act like he did that like week 7. Like, he did it like in like July or not. Actually, not even like April. Like
we haven't
Joshua Tree.
Yeah, we haven't talked.
What do you know about Joshua Tree?
Well, let me give you.
No way, Joshua Tree's still.
Let me give you this before you go.
Is it Dukes?
What?
Is Joshua Tree still open in the city?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Wait, Joshua Tree in California?
Oh no!
No, it's where
There's
they do
one in the city.
It's where they do shrooms and Entourage.
Oh yeah.
They figure out.
I was thinking about the bar that plays 80 music.
They go there and like do shrooms and figure out what.
It is a great album.
Like Vince's next move is.
You too, baby.
You too.
Oh.
One quarterback you haven't brought up yet, and I'm sitting in the chair. I feel like I need to say it. Baker Mayfield's a free agent.
I think he goes back with the Bucs.
I think so too. I think it's the best situation for him. But
I think they re-sign him.
So if the
I have one for Clemmer.
They said they want it.
The Bucs, by the way, have the 28th pick. The 26th pick, excuse me. That could be a good fit for Fields if they're going to move away from Mayfield. Just throwing that out.
I think they stay with Fields.
I think you're right. Or stay with Mayfield, rather.
That's what I meant.
I agree with you.
At that point, you're kind of spitting on a guy who just got you.
yeah, and he had a good year.
He just
Very good year.
He just had you like very close to an NFC championship.
Agreed. Yeah.
One for Clemmer.
Won the
I mean, we have
division.
to just talk about Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get a backup job somewhere maybe next year.
Yeah.
Where's Mac Jones gonna go?
That's a great question.
I know where. I think he's gonna go to the 49ers. Just like be like the third string guy.
Imagine.
Third string behind Darnold?
I think
not a bad life.
So
If you're going third
Shanahan
string,
won-
it doesn't matter where you're
Shanahan
going.
If you don't know how many years you have in the
I hope
NFL,
he
might
can
as
be a
well.
back.
If you're the Panthers, why not have him be your backup?
I
Because
think
he's better than Bryce.
he might be.
That's such a troll comment
might
week.
be.
I love it.
He might be.
That's why.
don't know yet.
That's why I said the Panthers.
Just two.
But at the
Bama
same
guys
time,
there
I
fighting
think
it out.
Mac Jones in that offense would have looked just as stinky, if not stinkier, to be honest.
I think I do think that like
That
it's like a
offense.
Shanahan like rehab.
That Panthers offense stunk.
Oh, so bad.
Stunk.
But if the Bears do trade the number 1 pick, I was very surprised at like the hauls that teams would have to give.
Oh, it's
Maybe I'm I guess maybe I was surprised by it. So I think he went through the rest of the lottery. There's a few that wouldn't do it. Washington would have to give up the 2, 40, and 163. I think that's first, second,
That
and
makes sense.
fourth. If I want
To go from 3 to 1 for like what they're considering Caleb Williams
Maybe
is
fifth.
like
But yes.
this like big time guy, it makes sense.
New England, 3, 34, 2025 first and third rounders. Now, Belichick's out, but the way the Patriots have operated, I can never see them trying to move up to 1 with that kind of
I don't.
Oh my God, I would do that in a heartbeat.
They
if I was the Bears.
always gain asset picks. They don't-
Patriots still haven't announced the GM, right?
They're doing like I think they're doing something where it's like one person focuses more on the free agents, one person focuses more on the draft class. They have like a 2-man operation.
If you could get the Patriots,
Which is their in-house already, or they
year?
still
yeah,
hire
like they're like both of them are pretty qualified. I don't think that they really want to name somebody because they're both like
It's interesting.
yeah.
If you
I don't know. That's
If you get the Patriots number 1 pick next year, it's gonna be terrible. That could be the number 1 pick overall.
Well, I think with the Patriots too, they're in a weird spot where if you like all 3 quarterbacks, if you're getting one of them, that's only if. That's a big if
Agreed.
you like all 3. But if you like all 3, or you're at least solid with all 3, you're guaranteed to get one of them.
yeah, but you know how we're men. I mean, most front offices are men. I'm sure there's women in front offices, but like we're impulsive, and obviously you can't say you just like all 3.
Yeah, but the Patriots.
You know you like one more than the others.
Oh yeah, of
Without a
course,
doubt.
of course. I'd imagine maybe there's situations where there's 2 that you're like really close on. But
Agreed.
obviously there's always gonna be like. But I think also part of it is you have multiple people making these decisions, and you have maybe like some of the scouting department like this guy as opposed to some guys over here like this guy better, And then there's always obviously there's like one guy that's going to ultimately make that decision.
Director of football operations for the Patriots is a woman.
Right. But I'm just making,
No, I'm just saying.
So maybe she won't be as impulsive.
She won't be impulsive. Yeah.
It's a good idea.
So here's Rico. That's where I brought up like
Good point.
Jacoby Brissett, because like if you're sold, if the Patriots are only sold on like Drake May and Caleb Williams, and they don't love Jaden Daniels, I don't mind them either taking a receiver, attack, whatever they think, or even like trading back to like the 10th pick. Because like I don't want them just to think they have the guy. Like I want them, so that's why I'm not opposed to getting someone like a Spencer Rattler in the second round, like have him sit behind a veteran quarterback. Because I do think if they just bring in someone like Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, you can maybe drag in because of the defense.
Dude, you do admit though the Patriots would be horrible next year, right?
Yeah, but the defense will still be the defense.
No, but they'll be a terrible team. That's
it
all.
depends who the quarterback is.
Okay.
How many?
You could get a rookie to go berserk. You could hit Stroud. You could hit Stroud.
You could admit the Patriots defense was good last year, right?
There's a world I think where they could be like middle of the road.
Okay.
I think so too.
Well,
I think there's a world where they're going to go like 5 and 12 and they're going to suck. And the world's going to happen.
There's definitely a world where that could happen.
What are we doing?
You can't dismiss that.
But they're not like
them being middle of the road when the Bucks were supposed to be pretty bad. Won a playoff game. The Steelers, horrible.
NFC sucks.
Steelers.
But Clemmer
were way better than the Patriots were the year before.
The Browns dragged the guy off the fucking couch and got them into the
Browns had way more talent in that roster.
Clemmer, you have to agree that the NFL, out of all 4 major sports leagues, is the easiest to make a turnaround.
Correct.
Once you have to do a lot of things right, especially organizationally, but it's the easiest to go from worst to first.
I mean, it can be not from where I'm sitting because my team hasn't made the playoffs in over
because you're a fucking dysfunctional family.
I agree.
The Patriots
that's
have
what it is.
Adrian's seen that way too.
The Patriots have a
you're
shit
not
ton
wrong.
of cap space.
But
ton.
it's fixable.
No, I don't think immediately.
I just think there's a place
very confident
defense could be good if they spend some money the right way and draft the right way.
Yeah.
They could be.
Look, are they winning a Super Bowl next year?
No.
Absolutely not. But
are they making the playoffs next year?
But Clemmer, could they be in a position where next year they fight for a playoff spot, a la the Colts?
No, the AFC is too strong. No.
Yeah, okay.
I think if they make all the right calls, they will be. They need to go perfect.
Go through the list.
All the right calls.
Go through the list of those quarterbacks. And by the way, the Steelers did make the playoffs, but they got lucky because every other quarterback got hurt in the AFC. It's not going to happen again.
Did you think the Colts will be fighting? Did you think the Colts will be fighting for a playoff spot with a new head coach and Anthony Richardson and Gardner Minshew?
Absolutely
okay.
not. Absolutely not.
So it can happen.
It can happen. But for every bad team that I was wrong about, like the Colts, that everyone was kind of wrong about, there were 5 teams that we knew would be terrible that were terrible.
Of course, it's not easy, but it can happen.
But even last year, I don't think people came in.
Anything can happen. I think.
But no one came in.
Like, what are we doing?
No one came in last year saying the
You're the hypothetical king.
3 games.
Not the hypothetical.
I'm the hypothetical king. I love hypothetical.
The Patriots also were losing games like 6-0. Like,
okay.
You get like
they did have a good defense.
You have a competent quarterback in there. It's a different season.
I feel like this is the same thing that happened. Like, remember before last season, he was telling us how Mac Jones was great. The Patriots are going to be good. Like, the Patriots stink. They're a bad team.
We're not saying
they're bad. They stink. I'm sorry, they're bad.
You're basically just saying there's no chance they could go 8-9. You're saying there's no chance that could. I would
if that was the line. Let's say the line was 7.5 for overall wins. I would bet a lot. I would bet thousands of dollars on that.
Do it then, pussy.
I will. When that line comes up, I will bet $1,000. If the line's, I'll bet with you right now $1,000. Let's go.
Show it.
I'd guess the line.
Show what?
The line of
Show
the
it.
wins is going to.
What am I showing?
How many wins?
Let's do the slip.
No. I'll gladly do it. I'm good for it.
They won't come out. They won't come out until we know what they draft.
I'll bet it blind right now. I'm betting with him right now. 7.5. I'm saying they're gonna.
That seems a little high, though.
Seems very high because they stink.
Well, then you're cooking the number.
No, that's what he said.
Well, no, but
I didn't say 7.5 for anything.
But this is like a gamble that's on the line because like we don't know what they're going to draft. We don't know what they're going.
We don't.
They have a bunch of free agency money to spend.
That's how confident I am.
They could be a way different roster.
Look at that division. Look at that. Look at the competition's not going to change though. Burrow, Mahomes, even that division. You got Rodgers, Allen, Tua. That they have no chance. They
have 6. They have 6 wars in the division. That is agreed.
They are fucked.
6 wars.
No, it's fair. I just think I would not. I would not
third
bet
of your schedule.
I would not bet a bunch of money that they're going to win 8 games. I'm just saying I think they could.
Yeah, all right. I think I could, gain 100 pounds tomorrow. I'm probably not going to.
And injuries never happen.
Well, no, but you couldn't do that.
Well, who knows? Anything can happen.
But anything can happen.
Arizona would have to go. This is interesting. I don't know if he thinks this would actually happen. Arizona 4, 27, 35, 90, and a 2025 second rounder for the number 1 pick.
4 to 1.
That seems like a lot. Also, you still have Murray on the books,
They're just
right?
not going to do that.
He reported it. Giants, we'd have to give up 6, 39, 47, and a 2025 second Tennessee 7-38, 2025 second. Atlanta 8-43, 2025 first and third, and a 2026 first rounder. I think they know they got Atlanta by the balls.
Well, no. It's more just 8 to. It's just the how far you're going.
Right. Yeah, that
8 to 1's a huge jump.
It is.
Huge jump.
Denver would be 12. Surtain, 2025 second.
Like, come on, like, what are we talking? Like, they're not trading Patrick Surtain. And I know this isn't you, like, putting
it me. I'm just reporting
but I'm just reacting to, like, no, well, not news. It's this guy making hypothetical trades. This is news.
Oh,
but it's not crazy of what would be.
There's reports coming out right now that A.J. Brown for Surtain straight up.
Really?
It's never going to happen. If A.J. Brown gets traded, it would be the most dead cap hit in the history of the NFL. It's not going to happen.
Really?
Why the fuck would the Broncos trade like a 25-year-old corner who's like one of the best corners in the league? That makes no. I know you're going to have to pay him a lot in a couple of years, but still,
because they're trying to.
He's one of the best young players in the NFL. Why would you trade him now?
Trying to get a quarterback. Vegas is the last one. Would be 13, 44, 77 this year. 2025 first and third rounders, 2026 first and second rounders.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's another one for the number one, Vegas.
Well, that's because they're coming
coming at 13.
Insanely far.
When did that stadium debut? This year or last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So they know they got the stadium. They got people on the PSLs.
That's just like that. I just think there's never one where the Bears are going to. They're in a unique situation because they also have.
Who do you think is crazy not to take that trade?
I think the Giants have to consider.
No, the Vegas Bears trade. Bears would be crazy not to take
say it one
trade.
more time, like the full thing.
13, 44, 77, 2025 first and third, 2026 first and second. You have to do that.
Especially since the
3
Raiders.
years of first rounders.
The Raiders could be such a crapshoot that, and I like Antonio Pierce, but they could be a lottery pick 3 years in a row.
Oh my God.
Yes.
It could be a top 10,
Especially
top 5
considering
pick
they're not going to have
3
any
years
number
in a row.
one picks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that rolls over.
I mean, that's a great confidence boost to Fields too. Like,
And they'd still have. They'd have.
Hey, we got 3 years with you.
They'd have 9 and 14, so they'd still have 2 first rounders this year, and they would have 2 first rounders for the next basically 3 years in a row,
as well as extra second and thirds.
Yeah. So I mean,
That's almost like you'd have to try to fuck that up.
But if that works,
That many draft picks.
you're giving Fields a shit ton of money at some point. If that
have to.
is all you have to.
The nice thing is you have all these rookies on rookie contracts because you just got all these first, second, and third round picks.
That's crazy. I mean, if you can't put together a good roster with all those picks, you should be fired. You just stink.
100%. But it's a unique situation. Why are they going in with the head coach who ain't that good already?
Agreed.
That's the only reason.
You might as well just clean
The
slate.
fact that they kept Eberflus is the only reason I think there's a chance they still keep Fields.
I'd much rather keep Fields and get that treasure chest from the Raiders or even some of the other treasure chests.
I think it's more realistically it'd be like a team. I mean, maybe the Raiders would make that. That's a huge move.
Over under, how many years do you think Dan Quinn was in Atlanta?
8? 6?
I was going to say 6.
Yeah, no, 6 on the dot. I thought that was 43 and 42. So maybe not as good as
I got to Super Bowl.
overall.
No,
You did get to a
pretty
Super
good,
Bowl.
yeah.
6 years, man.
And they were.
I don't know. It just makes me feel
close.
old. I just remember him at the Legion of Doom.
This is what I'm talking about with these guys like having second life. It's like these guys are like they never die in the NFL. You know what I mean?
If you're a good, you always get like a second chance to be head.
If you're and Dan Quinn's a great coordinator. If you make a Super Bowl as a head coach, you're probably going to get another shot.
Almost always. And that's any sport. Same with the World Series. It's any sport.
I could see him having another shot, though.
Which is surprising that if Sirianni would have gotten let go, he probably wouldn't have been a head coach this year.
Grady Goodell got another shot. Grady Goodell, he got the shot with the Dodgers.
Question for you guys. When the Bears are interviewing offensive coordinators, and they're probably like the coordinators are probably positioning themselves like who's going to be my quarterback. How many coordinators do you think would want to take Fields over Caleb Williams? Like, you have no connection to either quarterback, unless you're like a Cliff Kingsbury. But you hear what I'm saying? Like,
where is Kingsbury, by the way? No.
He interviewed.
He interviewing with the Eagles.
Yeah, for OC job potentially.
How do you think offensive coordinators who have no connection to Justin Fields, or just outside looking in, do you think any of them want to coach Justin Fields over Caleb Williams?
Well, I think you're going into it saying, they're similar skill sets. I mean, Caleb Williams probably is like a better natural thrower.
Is he the lock one?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
I think no doubt. But I mean, I think you should need to, because I think their biggest problem with Getsy was that he was so almost. You saw like two different tales of this last 2 seasons where 2 years ago, beginning of the season, like they're trying to make him throw the ball, it doesn't work. They cut him loose, and they're all of a sudden they're scoring all these points. Their offense is playing way better. Then it felt like this year they did the same thing over again, where they tried to like make him pass from the pocket again. It didn't work. Then they like kind of freed him up again, and the offense got a lot better. You have to bring a guy in who's like all in on Fields. I think. I think you hiring the offensive coordinator already knowing what your decision is, like which guy you're going to go with or what you're going to do. So if it's Fields, like you have to have a guy who's all in on what he wants to do, his skill set.
See, it's tough because I understand them trying to make Fields into something that he's not because of the longevity of Fields being what he is. There's a shelf life on it. There just is.
Yeah.
Being just a run-first quarterback. Like, you're going to get banged up, and you're just not going to be that athletic or fast 5-10 years down the line. So I understand trying to progress him into a passer.
My only thing with him is he's, like, pretty big. Like, he's closer to, like, Cam Newton than he is, like, a slender guy. Like, he's not quite as big as Cam Newton, but he's like a 6'4".
Cam broke down after a while.
But he broke down after a while, which I think you can live with, like getting a while out of him and then breaking down. You got a good almost decade out of him before he really was.
And an MVP.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you brought to a Super Bowl.
But is Justin Fields Cam Newton?
I don't know. Listen, I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying in terms of like body type. Like, I think and he has had some injuries, so that's fair to bring up. But I think he can take some hits. Like, he's 6'3", 6'4", 230 plus.
Do you want to ride your franchise on that?
That's a decision the Bears have to make.
Dukes, to your point, too, your question about what offensive coordinator they want. The other thing, too, is not just getting Justin Fields. You're getting all these draft picks, in theory, to draft wide receivers, to draft running backs. So, like, maybe you could spin it that way, too.
For sure. I'm just curious, like, how big of a risk is taking Justin Fields? Because if you're taking him on, obviously you have to give up assets. You have to pay him because you're looking at him to be a quarterback of the future. How big of a risk do you think teams view him, considering how he started the season, how he finished the season, and how they feel confidence-wise bringing him into a new system?
It's absolutely a risk. Like,
yeah,
I mean, he's not as much as I like him. He's not proven.
No.
And like Duke said, his free agent number that's coming up sooner than a guy you just drafted.
Right, like you have to look at the future.
He's what was his third year?
Third year.
So you'd have to basically play out this full next season,
right?
And then you get a full season to see him and then make a decision long term.
Maybe that's
basically his last. But it's any trade is going to be a risk. It is a risk.
So you're losing your second round pick for potentially only 1 year at Fields. That's a big risk.
It is, but it's the risk of either you lose a second round pick or you just found your franchise
quarterback. Right.
It's one or the other.
That's fair.
Which is obviously one's like a great and one's horrible, but you have the teams have to decide whether they think he's worth that risk or not.
Is that why you think the second rounder makes more sense now? Because like they're looking at it as maybe a year loan.
Well, I think it's the second. Like I think it could take what he said, like the first, like a second and third potentially. Because it's like we talked before. I just think no one's going to give like a top 10 pick for him. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was number 11 to start with, I think, or something like that when he was drafted a few years ago.
Could you get a first for him maybe next year? You know what I mean? Like, because teams value those picks in the future less than the picks immediately.
The only reason I say no is because if he doesn't work out, that's such a disaster. Because think if he doesn't work out, he's literally gone.
And now you have no first round.
You don't have a pick to take another quarterback.
That's very fair.
So I think it's more likely
that'd be a tough ask.
More likely a second rounder would make more sense. The Raiders, like I said, the teams like Raiders, Pats.
Are the Raiders just going to cut Garoppolo? That's a huge.
Should.
But they just signed him.
But I don't think it was. How much money does he have more owed guaranteed left? I think it was only like a 3-year 60, maybe off 60 something to begin with.
Hey, you don't bring in a new interim head coach, have him basically start Aiden O'Connell over you, and then hire that head coach and not cut Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's kind of how I was feeling.
That's very true.
Literally his first action as acting head coach was Aiden O'Connell's now our starter.
Yeah. It's a 3-year, $72 million deal, but only $33 million are fully guaranteed. He has a base salary next year of $11 million.
It's not horrible.
There's no way they ride out with Aiden O'Connell next year, right?
I think they bring in someone else to compete with him at a minimum.
Be crazy.
Because he didn't. I mean,
yeah. All right.
He didn't look.
He was
that bad.
He was okay at times. He showed some potential, but he also had some bad moments.
Yeah.
But
that could be a spot for Minshew. I could see Minshew and O'Connell fighting for that spot or something like that. You know what I mean?
You know who I could see there? Josh Dobbs.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Dobbs mania.
I don't know. It seems like they figured him out.
Dobbs mania.
Dobbs is like the first time through the lineup like a pitcher. Like he's great, and then once guys get out, it's like ding, ding, ding.
We've also gone this far. We haven't brought up Kirk Cousins once, the official quarterback. Oh,
Yeah, where's he
Pick
going?
Central. He's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
He's got to go.
At this point, at this point, does he just go back?
No.
You don't think so?
He's looking for a guaranteed $40 million contract. That's what Kirk Cousins deserves.
You're not wrong.
He wants 2 years. He wants like
I
2
love
years,
him.
$90 million, like guaranteed.
I love him.
But you're not wrong. He does deserve a big contract.
That's what people see these numbers now, and they get so squirrely over. Oh, he's mid, but I mean, look at the contracts that were given out last year. Daniel Jones, Geno Smith, Derek Carr all got like 40 million, 35, 40 million. So when Kirk Cousins sees that, he's like, I'm better than all these guys.
There's no way we get Harrison at 6, right?
No way.
No.
Giants take the roll the dice on Kirk?
I could talk myself into that.
Yeah.
Keep Saquon.
I think they draft somebody if they did anything.
Yeah, I know.
Like Kirk has to go to a win now scenario. Like what is that?
Honestly, it would be hilarious if next.
It's not in the
Giants
NFC.
were
That's
paying-
my argument. I don't think it's. I'm sorry. It's not in the AFC.
Imagine next year the Giants, if they signed Kirk Cousins, they were just paying Kirk Cousins and Daniel Jones combined like $90 million next year.
Okay.
I had
You agree? It's not the
would be
path of
ridiculous.
success. Win now is not in the AFC. Just not. Just not.
Dude, you put
It's too deep. It's just not.
they would never do it, but you put Kirk Cousins on the Browns. That's a Super Bowl team.
That might be the only.
just
path in the
is.
AFC.
How, you're gonna
They
pay.
can't- they
you're gonna
can't
pay-
afford it.
I don't know how you do
They
it.
literally
I don't
can't
know.
afford
I
it.
don't know how you do it.
They don't have the money.
Clever, you might disagree with this, but this is also a thought that passed through my head. Robert Kraft's getting so fucking old that I think he's in such win now mode that I could see him signing Kirk Cousins, signing Brandon Ayuk, drafting like Marvin Harrison Jr. and building like a win now offense.
But that's not win now. That's such a mid team.
I agree.
That would get him his $1,000. That might be 8 wins.
Yeah, that's he gets you. I think that
That's
could
so
get you in
mid.
the playoff
Smitty,
potentially.
That might get you 8 wins.
I agree, but I do think that Robert Kraft getting older, like I could see him not really wanting to build for the future as much as like I need to see like a playoff win or a playoff series.
You're
I
not
don't know. He already has 6 rings.
I'm telling you,
Kirk Cousins, T. Higgins, Marv, like, just like bang. There's your offense.
Okay, here's
I'm not even kidding.
Honestly, not.
It's not terrible.
no, it's not terrible, but you're not.
It's just like-
you are exactly who you are if that happens.
But like I think that I legitimately think Robert Kraft wants to see the playoffs before he dies.
Here's a complete Madden
He
franchise.
seems to be in pretty good health. I mean, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, but dude,
I don't
he's
know what I
getting,
know,
like
but-
Jerry Jones, like we're winning now. Like I think these owners that are getting really old, like they're just gonna spend a fuck ton just to like Robert Kraft can't not make the playoffs and die. Like he needs to see a playoff before and I know it's like fucked up to say, but it's like pretty true once he's
He
really
better
thinking about
survive
Is that a good
until
movie?
next year.
Can
then.
we do pitches on Healthy Debate every once in a while. Like yesterday was like, give me a sports movie and whatever. But like Race to the Ring, and it's all guys who are gonna die who are GMs. Is that something you would watch?
Dude,
like Jerry Jones now, that's actually reality television. Can he ever get another Super Bowl?
Dude, they kept
Race to the Ring.
they kept Al Davis alive 20 years past he died.
Yeah,
He was a corpse.
but I agree. Like
Like the 80 for Brady of owners.
No, guys,
It's just Jerry Jones.
everything.
Robert Kraft.
The
Just be like, we need
quarterbacks?
that
We need a ring.
Jerry Jones sitting there hasn't won a ring since the 90s.
The owner of the Bears, that old lady, isn't she like 1,000?
Oh, it's like the
no, maybe it's
Roonies
the
and the,
Lions.
Yeah, like
the Lions owner is 1,000,000 years old. That lady?
I would.
No, it's like the you have the
Forget the
Roonies, you have
quarterback series. I want to
Yes,
see
yes,
the Giants. Like,
I want to
we're
see
all
the
old,
owners
Giants.
and what drives them, and just be like, and Jerry's be like, we got to need a goddamn ring. Like,
There's a reason why Jerry Jones is like
awful Jerry Jones.
is like, and even Kraft are the most public, outgoing. A lot of these guys, and girls, they're just like so rich. They're Illuminati. They don't want.
Oh, I need them to remake the scene of.
No, I think, but that's a lot of the owners who you don't hear about. Like, can you tell me the owner of the Panthers? Well,
Yeah,
I guess
David
Yeah, that guy's an
he's
asshole.
throwing
he's an idiot. Yeah, or a bad example.
Well, like the Bears
Can you tell
owner,
me the
that old
owners
lady.
of
She's like 100 years old.
Cardinals?
Bidwell's?
Can you tell me the owner of?
I mean, Dolphins are
Vikings.
a bunch of.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
owners,
saying.
right?
Stephen
Okay.
Ross,
The
right?
people
All
that
right.
own the yeah.
All right, okay.
Here's okay.
Keep going.
You guys are owner buffs, making a niche on fucking dozen. Jesus Christ.
Keep going.
No. My point is, the only guys who would do it are the ones we care about. I don't want to
Yeah.
watch the guy from the fucking.
I kind of do. If he's really old.
Yeah, but,
like
no,
100
but is he
years old.
boring? I need the old guy who's like his driving force is winning a title.
I'll watch a
And that's
100-year-old do
Jerry
anything.
Jones.
Oh, you know who'd be good in that? The San Diego Padres owner. Like, see?
Well, he passed away.
Yeah.
Ooh, Ray Kroc?
Exactly where.
No,
I'm
this guy
coming
Peter
from.
Seidler just died a couple months ago.
Another one would be
People are like, how's he
Woody.
paying all
Woody
these
Johnson.
players?
Woody Johnson, I think,
Right.
is enough that like he cares.
I have one more Kirk Cousins point that I need to ask Clemmer, and this will never ever happen. I'm just playing complete Madden franchise mode. I mean, what if he goes to the Jets?
Who?
Kirk.
Kirk Cousins goes to the Jets?
Yeah. I mean, Rodgers is only signed for one more year.
We need offensive linemen. We have so many.
I know. What if you go like a dual quarterback?
I think Cousins sitting is a waste of time.
Together they have.
People are going mad at me.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But if Kirk Cousins was on... If you had Kirk Cousins this year instead of Aaron Rodgers, you're a playoff team. I mean,
until his Achilles. The two quarterbacks have two good Achilles.
Agreed.
That's right. Well, just give one to the other.
That's right.
Agreed.
You have one healthy
Use one as like a zombie and use his parts.
Now I'm just picturing like what characters would play like these. Like I was in my head. In my head, I was just picturing like them reacting to the scene of. I think talking about it a few weeks ago when that Jerry Jones wanted to draft Manziel. I picture like an old like De Niro playing Jerry Jones, and some guy being like, "We can't draft Manziel. Like, what do you?" And he's like, "No, we need him." Like,
can you do the Irishman and like de-age them so they're see them when they're young?
I'm telling you.
I was thinking
Joe Pesci's like Robert Kraft. Like, he's like
Ev, I was thinking Clint Eastwood as Jerry Jones.
I don't mind that. That's honestly probably a better fit.
Yeah.
De Niro is Kraft.
Yeah. I'll float this.
Didn't Clint Eastwood already play Jerry Jones in a movie?
Did he?
Did he?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. What was that movie? Gran
Turismo.
I'll float this real quick. If Mahomes wins, he's
Can't get in trouble for saying that. Right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
If Mahomes wins, he's 3-1 in Super Bowls. Real quick, where does that put him in terms of all-time winners? He's not ahead of Brady, and you got Montana at 4-0 and Bradshaw at 4-0. But Bradshaw in a different league. Bradshaw in a different league. Is he cement? I think there's no doubt he's cemented at 4. He would be the third most winning.
He's better than Bradshaw.
Super Bowl quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
But what?
4-0.
No, yeah. But could you put him above Bradshaw? I think without a doubt he's top 4.
Without a doubt, ahead
he's
of
top 4, which is crazy. He's been a starter for what? 6 years?
6.
He's crazy.
Every year he started, he's won the AFC Championship.
He's already. Think about this.
You're not throwing Unitas in there?
How many did he win?
But I mean, Unitas was around before the Super Bowl.
A lot of it was pre-Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't count.
Before
Okay.
You don't care about Unitas?
I
You'd
do
be the
care.
one. You'd be the one.
Gets
jerking
hated.
off
I
to
do
it.
care about it, but you have to consider the Super Bowl era.
That's where it gets
AFL,
Super
NFL.
Bowl
you
era.
have to
Okay,
do that.
Super Bowl. We're not gonna. Yeah, so Super Bowl era. I think without a shadow of a doubt, he's cemented at top 4. But could you potentially put him ahead of Bradshaw?
Without a doubt.
And either way, are we talking enough? I know, like Mahomes is the best, and I'm very lucky. I feel like we're watching a guy's prime unfold. With Brady, I was still a little too young to watch. We talk about it all the time. Like you're in high school, you go out on a Sunday, you're doing shit, you're playing yourself. Like I wasn't locked in. It was also accessibility to watch games. You got the game you got. If the Patriots weren't on, you weren't watching that. There was no red zone. There was no whatever. So
Yeah, but
I'm now watching this prime unfold. I have access to Pat Mahomes every week. Are we talking enough about a guy who was in his 6th year, potentially being the 4th or 3rd best all-time winner in the Super Bowl era? Is that enough of a story?
If he wins this Super Bowl, he's number 2 in my book.
I have Montana ahead of him still.
But I don't think it's unfair for me to do that to Montana and Bradshaw because A, the talent level is just so much more superior with Mahomes. I think that's just a generational thing. And 2, I didn't see them.
I'm not even saying all time or GOATs or something like that. I'm just saying winners. You're listing straight out winners.
Montana was
undefeated in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And Montana was a winner.
But Brady is
Niners
still,
were so bad before
Brady's
he got there
still
too.
number.
He
Brady's
made
still
an
number 1.
AFC championship with the Chiefs.
The Chiefs. Yeah, Montana was a winner. Bradshaw had incredible talent around him. Bradshaw is not nowhere near. Couldn't hold Mahomes' jock when it comes to being a quarterback. And that's no disrespect to Bradshaw. Really, it's just how great Mahomes is. But it's Brady. If let's say Mahomes does win the Super Bowl, it's Brady, Montana, Mahomes. With if Mahomes can win one more, he leaps over Montana.
Can I say a risky one? Eli.
We won 2.
I don't even know. I think that his 2 might equal something.
But he's also a 500 quarterback as a starter. Like that's not even.
I think Super Bowl wise.
I think you can make a case that with
Eli
is at the top of the list of guys with 2. Like, would you put him ahead of Elway, 2 and 3?
I mean, Elway's a better player.
Oh, Elway's
a better player.
Winner.
Elway also went to 3 other ones
And lost.
I know, but Manning couldn't even get. No, this is not.
Manning was also number 1 overall seed and lost in the playoffs.
I love Eli Manning. Eli Manning was a great player.
Just something to chew on.
That happened.
Elway's a first ballot Hall of Fame. Manning is.
Well, Eli will also be, but
I don't know if he will be a first ballot.
Has Mahomes, Brady, or Montana ever lost as a number 1 overall seed first round?
Something to chew on.
I think that Pat Mahomes.
think so.
It's something to chew on.
I don't
Pat
think
Mahomes
so.
would pass. I think Pat Mahomes with. Yeah, no, I'll say that.
Would pass Bradshaw?
No, I think if he wins this, he would pass Eli Manning.
Oh, I think he's past Eli Manning.
You're an asshole.
Fucking
asshole.
I'm not going to sit.
What are we doing?
I'm no longer going to sit here. We're not slandering Eli Manning.
Oh no, I mean, we shouldn't. Like,
Honestly, the crazy thing with Brady is, I mean, this guy, his prime was when he was like his 35 to 40.
Well, he had 2 careers. That's the crazy thing about him.
He was
dominated, had a big gap, and then dominated again.
Honestly, the big gap where he like didn't win a Super Bowl for like almost 10 years
actually more
he was
impressive.
a way better player than he was when he was winning.
because he had Randy Moss.
He just as a player evolved.
No, I don't mean that against Brady. I just mean like he actually had like real talent.
He was a much more prolific passer.
Not Brady slander.
In that gap where he didn't win, where he lost to the Giants, than he was in the beginning when he was.
Yeah, like looking back, should we put more heat on Belichick the fact that they didn't win?
Yes.
For that,
with a good coach, they might have won 10 Super Bowls.
He got a few.
I say that with all sincerity. I mean, Bill Belichick is an unemployed guy who's a loser without Tom Brady. Imagine if they had a real coach in there.
I think that Tom Brady.
That is a long gap. The fact that they didn't win is crazy.
He wasn't with Randy Moss as long as people think.
He wasn't.
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
He got traded in the 3rd year.
Yeah, I know that.
So like 1 year was with Castle.
Yeah.
1 year they went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like he had Wes Welker for a while, but like,
Who's good?
Who was great.
What was the year he got hurt?
Wes
What was the
Welker
year
also
Brady got
lost
hurt?
It was the year after they won the Super Bowl. It was only we lost the first time the Giants. It was
Actually,
08 season.
They also had
His
a bad GM.
first game of the year.
Yeah.
11-5.
They had a bad coach and a bad GM.
Yeah.
I mean,
They had a good head of player
I
personality.
don't know how Tom Brady did, and I give Tom Brady a lot of
Shout out
credit.
Scott Pioli from Washingtonville, New York.
It is incredible what Belichick was able to do with the salary cap era.
They had
Agreed.
They had Gronk.
Yeah, it is incredibly
the
bad.
other
They could have
side
won
end.
even more.
Well, and a lot of it, I'll give Tom Brady and Giselle credit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, Dukes brought this up a couple months ago. Brady being married to Giselle made Brady be able to take maximum amount of money to help the team better.
Yeah, and if you look at that career path, I've touched on it a bunch of times. Who made $3 million for most of his career? Michael Jordan. Because he knew he had boatloads of Gatorade money. He knew
Nike money.
Me winning championships and me being the GOAT means we got to pay Pippen. We can go get Rodman. We can have a guy like Horry.
Well, they also had Pippen literally chained to which.
Well, did they have Horry?
They did not have Horry.
They did not have Horry. That's my bad.
Tony
Kukoc, Luke Longley.
Coach Longley.
Pippen was on like a.
Oh, you know who I'm thinking of? I apologize.
Dennis Rodman.
Ron Harper. I'm sorry.
Ron Harper was a nice player that first.
Robert Horry's won so many rings. I retroactively put him on the fucking polls.
Pippen was criminally underpaid.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yes.
Which was an issue.
He signed a long-term deal way too early.
Which was an issue, but he at least Pippen knew.
He was like this.
At least Pippen wasn't mad that they're
player
playing
on his own team.
It was
Crazy
Pippen.
how little
Pippen
he got.
wasn't mad they were paying Mike.
And they would
$50
not
million,
give him more money.
And Mike wouldn't give it up. Mike was like, "Yeah, I'm making bare minimum too." So he couldn't really,
No, and it was even an issue in the moment. Like in the moment, people were like, "This is crazy how little Scottie Pippen's going to."
Agreed, but
if I remember the
to
numbers,
that point, he was not. He never had a pissing match with Jordan that Jordan was making 50 and wouldn't give it up. So that was a tactical move by Jordan too. That's smart.
But you can only really do that when your talent level is that generational.
Agreed. And you better, like you look like an idiot
also,
otherwise.
You know you can get that money endorsement wise.
I mean, he was literally getting points off his shoes.
Agreed.
That would become the biggest thing in the world.
It also shows how Jerry Krause and Reinsdorf fucked him because he should have just paid those guys, when those deals were, and kept that dynasty going. But instead, he went the cheap route and said, "Oh, blow it up." What he did to Pippen was really wrong.
We're kind of seeing this now with Ohtani. Remember that he's only making $2 million the first
Yeah.
years of that
No,
deal.
very true.
It's all
Very
deferred.
true.
Yeah,
Because of the endorsement money he has. Exactly.
They're going to
right,
allow that. They're going to allow that. He's only going to make $2 million.
Yes.
Yeah, it's done.
I thought that was going to get.
Well, he's
No,
going
that's-
to get the money eventually. But.
I know, but I thought that was a little like shiesty. They came back and said, "How's this legal?" And people.
No, that's happening.
He's
That is
getting all the
done.
money
Okay,
after
people
he
were up in
retires.
arms.
They were.
all
You
I'm
can be up in
saying.
arms all you want.
No, they gamed the system.
Yeah.
The best
All they
deals.
They went out and got Yamamoto.
The best deals in sports are gaining the system.
Yes.
Why did the Celtics draft Larry Bird? You know that story?
Because they could.
Yes, and no one else knew.
A year early.
Fucking morons.
Yes.
What was the other one that I'm thinking of? The Cowboys with the Herschel Walker trade. If they knew if they cut him, they get all these compensatory picks or whatever that deal was. Like the kinks in the system, when you're smarter than everybody else, I don't have a problem with.
Yankees free agent.
Don't have a problem with.
Yankees went into free agent for any other team. They won 2 World Series.
Agreed.
NBA
When John
summer
Harbaugh
26
was bitching in the 2015 playoffs because of the ineligible receiver rule.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chad. Someone brought that up.
NBA summer 2016, where everyone got a bunch of cap space, giving out all these weird contracts, and the Warriors just signed Kevin Durant and ruined the league for 4 years.
Yeah, I'm thinking more, Phil, like thinking outside the box.
But that's gaming the system.
Not
They gave it the
really.
system.
Not really. Like I'm looking at more
They didn't find a
loopholes.
loophole.
Loopholes.
Okay.
They just signed him.
Nuts. All right, Smitty, touch on Doc Rivers real quick. He's blaming the players, and then we'll go into picks.
Yeah, Doc Rivers
right into picks.
Doc Rivers started his took over the team that was 36-14, I believe, or 26-14. Yeah, a good team in the Milwaukee Bucks, number 2 overall seed, and he's now 0-2. And after the Trailblazers lost last night, shout out to Portland, plus 390 money line. Gave out that one. He's blaming the players.
Not gonna be 2 seed for long.
Yep, he's blaming the players already.
Nick's on that ass.
So if you would like to follow the show and make money going anti-Doc Rock, I think, and Clemmer, you too, from a Celtics fan, I think we can actually pinpoint the games in which Doc Rivers will have this team show up and they win by like 20, or they lose in disastrous.
That's exactly right. That's the thing, is when they win, it's going to be monumental. It's going to this is the greatest team ever. But then when they don't, it's going to be brutal.
And they are going to win more than they lose.
But I will say the playoffs, as you know, Smitty, that's when we could really make some
fun.
Yeah.
A 3-1 lead.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, Glenn.
What
and I hope it's against the Sixers or Celtics too.
What do you got tonight, Smitty?
We have IUPUI right now, noon, plus 12.5.
Noon?
Yeah, it's a noon start, baby.
Oh, you're right.
It started now then.
Against Green Bay. Ooey pooey.
We have the Jazz, obviously, minus 4.5. Gave that out yesterday. And we also have Felix among Usager at 1 p.m. tennis, money line, minus 1.5.
Okay.
Shout out Double Fault.
Ev.
Nebraska money line, 1 pick.
It seems like
or it might be retirement night.
All right.
Last bullet in the chamber.
Let's do it.
I've been bad.
Last gun in the bullet, baby. Last gun in the bullet.
Hopefully it's a bazooka.
Yeah, I've been bad too. I like this team, and I don't like the team they're playing. I like Oregon State even on the road. Now, Oregon State went on the road last week or 2 weeks ago and got waxed, like back to back. But those road trips in the Pac-12 are hard. It's massive amounts of miles. But UCLA is bad. Plus 10.5. Give me Oregon State. Pulled an upset against Arizona in recent. I like Oregon State here, plus the 10.5.
I'm 4-10 betting NBA this season. So I have 2 NBA picks for you. So one of them I'm riding with Smitty, Jazz minus 5. The other one, Celtics minus 11. That team the Lakers are in shambles right now. LeBron tweeted out like an hourglass.
Well, he does.
Which signifies, I think, that like time is running out, obviously. Anthony Davis did not play the last game. There's a chance he doesn't play again today. It's in Boston. That team seems to be just ripping each other apart right now. They're under 500. So Celtics, it is minus 11, big number, obviously, but I think that Lakers team is disintegrating in front of our eyes.
Dukes.
I got NJIT plus 5.5. I like the Highlanders against Binghamton.
Are they at home?
No, they're on the road. Binghamton's not that good. NJIT I saw one time, and they fought for me, so I'll gladly have their back tonight.
Shout out Miles at NJIT.
Go Highlanders.
Good staff. What was the other one?
What baseball team was originally called the Highlanders? Anybody know?
San Francisco.
Nope.
New York?
The Yankees. Yankees' original name was the Highlanders. How about that?
Go Islanders.
Who was old enough to watch them play as the Highlanders?
Me, obviously.
Cincinnati or Red Stockings?
I was just a little boy, though.
Featuring Chris Clemmer on the mic.
I was very...
Just a wee lad.
Hey, guys, it's me, Chris Clemmer here for the 1901 Highlanders.
Watch, he listened on radio.
The Islanders against the Boston
Radio
Braves
wasn't
for a
even
good day of baseball.
Settle in with a nice cigar and tell the wife to go in the kitchen and let's watch some Highlanders.
All right.
Hofstra minus 7.5.
All right.
Hey,
That's Pick Central. See you tomorrow.
That's literally the fucking...